Hi everyone, welcome back. This is 3 Days of Darkness, Part 1. Father had put it upon my heart to take a look at the phrase 3 days and every mention of it throughout Scripture. So I've done that. I'm actually still in the process of still studying a few more of the scriptures that are available. But now that my video series on the peace of God is finished, I'm going to jump right into this. The first mention of 3 days is found in Genesis chapter 30, verse 36. I will read that to you. And he said, 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. The context. So I've read the whole chapter. I've studied it. I've allowed the Lord to speak to me through prayer, asking Him to show me what He's revealing. And the context of this chapter is we see a record of the births of some of Jacob's children, and it takes place at a moment in time where he is already paid off a 7 years worth of work to earn the right to marry Rachel, and then he paid off a second time 7 years worth of labor to marry Rachel. And what ended up happening was on his wedding night, after the first 7 years of labor, he was tricked, and they gave him Leah instead to wife. So he had to work another 7 years to earn the right to marry Rachel. And now we're at the point in this chapter where he is negotiating wages with Laban to continue to work for Laban. And what they agreed upon was that of Laban's flocks and herds, those that were spotted and speckled would become Jacob's. And moving forward, as they continue to increase and multiply, Jacob's wages would be those that are spotted and speckled, and all the pure coats of the herds and the flocks of Laban's would remain Laban's. That was the wage that was agreed upon. Following this agreement, they put a 3-day separation between themselves. And Jacob then began to feed and raise his flocks and herds. There's the context of the chapter. Here's what the Father has shown me. He's shown me 3 things about this. First being, and I'm going to turn back to the very beginning of the chapter, verses 1 and 2, I'll read to you. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, I in God's stead? Who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? Here's what the Father showed me. One of the reasons why we are now going to experience the 3 days of darkness, and in a new way, unlike what Israel went through, as we read back in Exodus. And I think that's Exodus, chapter 5 through 10, or chapter 3 through 10. I'm not even sure right at the moment. But one of the reasons why we're going to experience it in a new way is because of what God's creation, mankind, has determined to do for themselves in standing in the stead of God, determining how they can treat our children, both outside of the womb and even within the womb. And without getting into any of the ugly details, to the point that now you can go online, anyone can go online and order the next day pill and abort any possibility of a child in the womb. So, I know I'm putting it lightly when I say that God is very angered with this. And this is one of the reasons why we're going to be confronted with the 3 days of darkness. One of the reasons. Here's another thing that the Father showed me about this passage. Genesis chapter 30. In verse 36, the separation between Laban and Jacob, a 3-day journey. This 3 days of darkness is going to bring about a distinct, pronounced, exacerbated separation between the house of Israel and the house of bondage. In layman's terms, those who will follow Christ and those who will follow the Antichrist system, the New World Order. Team Jesus, Team Satan. The 3 days of darkness is going to bring about a division this world has never known. A separation. Another thing Father showed me about this chapter is the distinction now between spotted and speckled cattle and herds and pure coats. This system, the New World Order system, guys, whether you want to accept this truth or not, it is based on this. This is its foundation. This is its footing. This is how they're going to pull it off. This New World Order system, this one world system, this utopia of Satan. Utopia, Satan's version of utopia. Okay, Satan's version. This agenda is going to bring about spotted people who are no longer gods. The spot that this is going to bring about in these temples, you will no longer be a child of God. We can expect this following the 3 days of darkness. All right? I mean, yes, this system is already in place, but there's a second implementation to this system that's coming, that will come following the 3 days of darkness. That's it. This is the what Father has asked me to share about Genesis chapter 30, verse 36. May the blessing of the Father be upon you. Oh, before I sign off, I'm going to put into the description box links to 2 videos of a woman that God brought across my feed, brought to my attention, and she has some things to share that's going to help us be more prepared and expectant of the 3 days of darkness. As well, Father asked me a short while back, about a month or so ago, to put together an email sharing everything that he's allowed me to glean about what to expect of the 3 days of darkness over the past couple of years. Over the past couple of years. So that I have completed that, and I have sent them out to everyone he wanted me to send them out to. Basically, who I had contacts to via email. And what I want to offer to anyone who would like to see what God asked me to put together for my family and friends, as a warning and a way of information and direction, I'd be glad to send to you. I will provide also in the description box my email address. Just simply write me an email telling me you want me to send you a copy of that letter that I sent to my family and friends, providing warning, information, and direction on the 3 days of darkness that God has allowed me to glean over the past couple years. I'll be happy to send that to you as well. May the blessing of the Father be upon you. Numbers chapter 6, verse 27.